glad to everybody that could get on today for this preseason Zoom. We're super excited. College football is back officially today with it being, week one. And so our staff and our players are excited that we're transitioning out of sorry, Suze. Yeah. Just transitioning out of camp into this season. We're so excited about it. So we wanted to get on here, kind of explain everything that went through camp, talk about our position rooms, new facilities, new uniforms if you got a chance, and get an inside look from Coach Abel. If you haven't had a chance to meet me yet, my name is Jaden Pask, coordinator of football development here. I was a graduate of the class of 23 and super excited that I helped to continue to grow this program that we helped build when I was a player. And with that, being a part of the Gridiron Club, I just want to say thank you to everybody on here. I mean, we have now 59 people in a Zoom. That's super awesome, very impressive. And that just shows, y'all's support and energy around our program. And that was showcased this past June in this past fiscal year. Happy to announce that, we raised the most amount of money in program history, right? And that doesn't happen from one single person. That's a collective goal that we reached together. And so I just want to say thank you on behalf of all our players, our staff, and every Wildcat out there, that we are happy that you are part of the Gridiron Club. And this energy that we're seeing in this Zoom right now and in last fiscal year, it really helps us grow momentum into this future that we're stepping into. And so with that, I'd like to transition it over to our head coach, the captain of our ship, Scott Abel. Let him, break it down for the rest of the meeting.
Thanks, Jaden. Appreciate it. I'll start by echoing what Jaden said. Just a huge thank you to everybody. What a tremendous end of our fiscal year that we had in July. Credit to you guys. As you all know, so much of what we're able to do is because of your generosity and your support. And Davidson football has forever changed because of that generosity and that support. And couldn't be more excited about that. And, I will share with you that probably we are now the model on campus for how this should look. When you talk about a Gridiron Club, we're talking about fundraising for a program that now other programs are using our model. And I'm extremely proud of that. Really give a loud shout out to Jaden. I know a lot of you got to know him now personally off the field, right? Other than a football player, but him coming on board with us, right, as we moved Alex into our DFO was just really transformational for us to have a former player back in that role. I think it means a lot. And I appreciate your communication with him. I love the relationships you're building with him and our staff, and grateful for each and every one of you. So hopefully what we want to do today is just kind of give you an inside look at the Cats for 2024, right? We're now 6 days away from kicking off, or 5 days really, and excited about this brand new season here, which is a historical season because the opening up of our new stadium. So a lot to be excited about. And with that, let's start and let's look at some of the things that we want to share with you and what's going on here, right? First, you'll see a new look, not just some new players on the field, but with the new branding last year from the college, right? We have now rebranded the uniforms. A lot of our graphics that are out there now have the new branding and logo, and you'll see some of that throughout the bookstore, our uniforms on Saturday, and our graphics. And love that, right? A little new touch, right? So we did get the guys' last names on the home black jerseys, which are some pretty special jerseys. Didn't put it on the rest of them. We wanted to be, when they put those black uniforms on, right, we wanted to be a special day. We wanted them to understand that when we wear those blacks, man, a little extra focus, a little extra, they know something big is happening that Saturday. And so, little different thoughts. So when you show up and you watch us and we have those black uniforms on, hey, man, a little something special, right? Kind of biting off the age-old tradition of it. For those of you that are my era and you remember Notre Dame, and they used to break out a green jersey every now and then. And for those of us who grew up watching college football in the 80s, right, pretty exciting. I'm dating myself, but, we're going to do some of that with our black jerseys. As now we transition, right, to the new facility, all right, I do want to speak kind of what it's been like for us in camp, right? You get just a snapshot of the facility right here in this graphic, but I think the real work, the real special part of this facility is probably located inside the building and what it means for our program, right? The weight room, the new locker room, our meeting rooms, our players' lounge, really just no pun intended, but a game changer for us and how we can operate. Last year in camp, we'd practice at the stadium, right? Then we'd all go our separate ways for whether it's training or lift or meetings all across campus. And now everything's done right here in the facility, right? It allows us to work incredibly efficient, allows us to get more work done today. And what it's allowed us, our staff, to do, probably work the guys even harder than we've ever worked a group. You'll hear that theme from me throughout this camp. It was the most challenging camp we've ever put upon a program and a team, and for different reasons. And I can answer some questions on that. I just thought, this group is ready for that. They're ready to be stressed and pressed, and we did that. And we wanted to learn this year, when we're stressed and pressed, where are some of those leaks, where are those cracks in the foundation. Didn't want that to come out on game day. Now, that sometimes happens anyway, and you can't avoid it all. But one of our goals was to create a camp that put that kind of stress to the team, to the program. So now we could hopefully answer some of those questions, right? Some of those challenges before a Saturday afternoon. This facility gave us that opportunity, from our nutrition to our lifting to our meetings. I just could not, I can't say enough about it, so everybody that was involved, huge thank you. I hope everyone's had a chance to see it. If you haven't, can't wait to show it to you. Here we go, September 7th. All right, you'll get a chance to see it up close in person. All right, so now as we transition from the facility and we talk about kind of what the Gridiron's done for us, but what I'd like for Jay to do is kind of break this down a little bit for you, kind of what our new chart looks like, right? And then we're going to jump back into the football part of this, talk about our roster, answer some questions about camp, some players to watch, etc. But with that, I'm going to toss this back to Jay, and he's going to talk a little bit about our fundraising.
Appreciate it, Coach. Yeah. In order to get into these new facilities and have these brand new, uniforms and, grow Davidson football, right? That stems from the Gridiron Club, right? We touched on it, but we as a collective community, right? And that's what I try to lay as the foundation, is this is a community, this is a family. We're able to shift Davidson football as much as we would like, right? And everybody has a piece in that puzzle, right? This chart, I try to game plan in a sense that everybody, no matter what you give, you are thanked on behalf of us, right? That's the whole key. The Gridiron Club is not a one-way ticket, right? It's a symbiotic relationship between us and you guys. And so this kind of breaks it down, right, in the varying levels. The benefits and everything are laid out there, which are cool, and I'll touch on. But something that I always want to draw attention to is the CAT's impact. It's in gray at the top of the chart there. And, we get a lot of questions of, what does my gift do, right? And that kind of lays it out, the foundation of what we do on an operational basis of how we, go about each and every day, right? So as you go up, obviously your impact towards our Gridiron Club and our football program grows with the gift that you make, right? And I never want to, slide a paper across and have you sign it without you knowing what you're getting yourself into, right? And I want to inspire you to make your impact, to make your gift based off of what you can do for our scholar athlete experience, right? Two levels that I, kind of want to draw your attention to are our Main Street level and our stakeholder level. Those are essentially where our two hospitality suite accesses will be granted. The $500 level, you'll see that it's that Gridiron corner. What that will be 90 minutes before kickoff. You'll have access to the southwest corner of our concourse, and that essentially will grant you free beer, free soft drinks, and free wine for that 90 minutes. And then we'll shut that down. I promise you, the concession stands will take good care of you. That's one of the things of going in this facility. They're outfitted with all the type of food you can want, housing, kitchen. So you'll have that there. The stakeholder suite in Gallery 18 will be same thing, right? 90 minutes before kickoff, you can get up there. That will extend throughout the entire game, that you can stay up there. It will be in the third floor of our field house, overlooking the field. It will have catered food, wine, beer, soft drinks, obviously air conditioning, right? It gets hot in North Carolina. Accordion windows, so when it does cool down in November, you can open it up, you can watch the game and get that game day feel from the third floor. Also have TVs where we can broadcast the games from across the country, right? When Texas and Oklahoma are playing, right, you would want to go see that game, but you're with us, right? So we're gonna make sure we can outfit that to take care of everybody's needs and watch games from across the country. One other thing is there is if you're like, man, that stakeholder level, that's hard to get to, right? But I still want to experience it. We have something for those individuals as well. There's a 1-day game pass for our Next Man Up group. So just super excited with this chart, right, is going to allow us to do for you guys, right? While also you guys, are the groundwork for how we maneuver and how we continue to grow and remain competitive in this league. And I mean, this is the foundation of what we've been able to accomplish, right? Is this Gridiron Club. And so if you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. My email and number is blasted everywhere on social media and on our website. So, no question is too small. We'd love to answer your questions and help you find where you best fit in our Gridiron Club and how you can make an impact on our scholar athletes on a daily basis. So I'll kick it back over to Coach and talk about the fun stuff, which is football. So here we go.
Thanks, Jaden. Before I jump into our quarterback room here, one of the things I enjoy most about these events is I'll scroll through all the names and pictures, or for those that have your cameras on. I can't tell you how much I just love seeing our faces, from some of our former football greats to we have some former parents on here of former greats. I have some former players that played for me at other places on here. I love our Gridiron. It really is. We talk about that we with everyone feeling. That's what I get when we do these events. So I hope you'll take the time to scroll across, see some of those faces and names of your former teammates, right, or friends and families from different decades. But with that said, hey, what I want to do, we're going to do a little different this year. I want to kind of give you an overview of the different rooms. And I know I got to move quick, a lot of guys, but, just wanted to kind of give you a breakdown and holistically about the room, and maybe point to a guy or two out of each room you should keep your eye on, right? So, hey, we'll start with my room, the quarterback room. I say it's mine because I coach our quarterbacks here. It probably the deepest room I've had in my time here, right? So if you look at the 4 men here, right, there's 2 seniors, a junior, and then there's a freshman. What you may see is there's a couple guys that were in the room last year that aren't in there this year. They've transitioned to some new positions. We believe they're going to help us down the road at another position. And so, because of their talent and what they can do. But in this room, right, we got 2 guys who've played a lot of football, right? Coulter Cleland is our starting quarterback. Started 10 of the 11 games last year. I would say had a really, really good sophomore campaign. Did so many things great for our program. Really talented guy. We're blessed to have him back. Luke Durkin, who has started quite a few games in his career here, right? Saw action in quite a few games last year, brings a ton of experience, a ton of leadership. He's like an assistant coach for us, right? He understands the offense as well as I do. He one of the best all-around leaders I've ever coached. So they are just a fantastic duo to have in a room. And then LJ Phillips, another senior who's been in the program, understands the offense really well. Once again, serves in a lot of different ways. And then Casey's our freshman in the room, right? Really talented young man, learning the offense right now. It's a lot going into college football, but doing a fantastic job doing that. Will you see Casey in action this year? Well, you can never predict any of those things, right? Right now he's focused on learning the offense and trying to get acclimated to college. Yeah. So, all right, let's head to the next room here, our running back room, which, man, there's a lot to talk about here. Mason and Maury, right? In my mind, they're 2,000-yard rushers coming back from last year's team. Last year we went into the game really not having any experience in this room, which for somebody who leads the country and rushing a lot, that was a little uncomfortable for us. So to have both of these guys back after a fantastic sophomore year certainly gives us some excitement and confidence. Okay. And so I expect big things out of them, and they're backed up by Aaron Carey, a sophomore, and Will Jones. And I would tell you, Will Jones is probably, man, has made as much noise as a freshman as anybody on the offensive side. Had a couple really nice scrimmages, and future, looks really bright right there. Moving on now to our OL room, and there's a couple different pictures here, right? I'm going to speak about them holistically. We graduated probably the most in this room and anywhere on our roster. And that is certainly for a team that leans on their offensive line so much. It is, what's the best way for me to say this? It gives you a little pause as the offensive coordinator when you graduate 3 starters, really 4 guys who played a ton. But with that said, a lot of guys here with a lot of talent played a lot of football in the spring. Malik and Kyler are the 2 that have played a ton of football, and we'll rely heavily on them early in the season to really help bring a younger line up to speed quickly. And I think the goal for them is to get incredible experience here in the preseason games leading up to our conference play, and for them to really feel confident going into PFL play. Okay. And I see no reason why that won't be the case. I do expect that there'll be an occasional growing pain up front early on, right? There's no way around it when you graduated what we did up front. But with that said, I'm excited about what this group can turn into time we get to PFL play. All right, our tight end room. I would tell you probably maybe the most talented room on our roster. Love this group. They work hard. Man, they're coachable. They're talented. What's there not like to love about them? And I think they're a room that makes a difference for us because we put a lot of resources into our tight ends. We love them. They're on the field a lot. And you will see those top 3 play a ton. Sam, Christian, and Langston. A lot of experience between them. Sam, our starting tight end, missed the last 7 games last year, 6 games due to an injury. So it's great to have him back fully healthy. Christian has played since he arrived here, and Langston the same way in some capacity. So excited for this room, excited what they can bring. They're a matchup problem, we think. What we got to be creative in trying to get the ball to them. They're also dominating blockers for us, which is important in our run game. So holistically, great room, excited to have them. And then our wide receiver room, probably the second room on our program that probably took the biggest hit. We graduated Clarence and Max. Both played a ton of football for us, made some plays for us. Youngish room as far as experience. Brody, though, Rena's our number 1 receiver, played a lot. Him and Kellen kind of split that number 1 role. Kellen's a senior, played a lot too. So they both bring a lot of experience back. And then I do want to mention Ivan Hoyt. He's a transfer, our only transfer in the program from Dartmouth. Great to have him here, and he's made a splash. He picked up the offense really quickly. He's made an impact already. So you will see Ivan immediately in the rotation week 1. Excited about that. And then our slot room. So we kind of split that perimeter game up into 2 rooms here. The slot room also is that perimeter player that took a hit. We graduated some guys there that played a lot. Mark, specifically McCurdy, had played a ton of snaps in his time. And so, we will probably replace him by committee. Okay. Meaning there'll be 2 or 3 guys that will step in, okay, be a part of that. One of those guys is going to be Andrew Frazier. I think we call him Drew. So Drew was in the quarterback room along with Isaiah Seppin, who was in the quarterback room last year, who's also moved to slot just recently. They both are guys that we think can be dynamic with the football in their hand. Drew has actually earned a starting job in that world right now. Had a great spring at slot, has made a big impact. I'm excited for him in that role. But really, the guy to talk about in this room is Aaron Mahone, right? He played really a 3-year starter for us. He's a captain. We think he's one of the most dynamic guys in the league. He's a dynamic kick returner. Nursing a muscle strain right now. I think he's questionable for this Saturday, but we'll see. But should be fully healthy as we get into our PFL play. But this is a younger room that you'll see a lot of contributions out of a lot of guys. All right, and then once again, you'll see some of those freshmen. Now we're going to jump to the defensive side, right? And I'm going to start. Man, there's a lot of returning guys up here, and I look for our defense to take a really big step forward for us. Start with our guys up front. I mean, when you look at guys like DK, right, Grant, Josiah, Julian, Micah, Garrett Crockett, those are 6 guys right there that have played a ton of football. Man, and keeping guys fresh and rotate. There's a good a unit as there is in the league at that position. Excited about them. And as I scroll through these pictures, you're going to see a lot of young guys that are going to make splashes early on. And 2 of them I'm looking at right now, Dixon Hudson and Ashton Miller, both played a little bit last year. Both, I think, are going to have breakout seasons. And that's tough when you're in a room that talented, but they're both that good and talented and have really taken a huge step coming into their sophomore year. And I'm excited for them. And so you will see those 2 a lot as well. Our corner room, okay. So last year, this room got hit by injuries. Okay. TJ missed roughly half the games last year. TJ is starting corner for us. And keeping him on the field, keeping him healthy will be a key, right? We are better when TJ's on the field. It gives us the ability to do a few more things. It gives us the ability to disguise a few more coverages. He makes us better. He's incredibly talented. Gifted kick returner as well. Don't know how much we'll turn him loose there just because we need him on the field defensively. And then Amari Hill, who first year starter last year, we look for him to take a big step in his junior year, growing in that role. And those are our 2 starting corners and keeping them healthy on the field. They're backed up by a young, talented group, but a group that doesn't have a lot of experience. And then our safety room. Man, you're talking about a room I'm excited about, right? I'm real excited. And I start with Dominic Njoku, who got hurt against VMI last year, missed the rest of the season, broken leg. Really set us back defensively, right? When your starting free safety goes down game 1, he's back healthy. It looks like it. Excited for him and what he brings to our defense. And then Daniel Carter, who is our starting really strong safety would be the right word, but they're interchangeable. 3-year starter, great deal of experience, and they will really split time with Miles Brophy. Miles probably has had the biggest jump from freshman to sophomore year as far as what he's going to bring to our program. And having 3 safeties that can give us some interchangeable parts. They're big. They can run. It's probably the biggest group we've had as far as size. I'm excited about them. I think they are game changers. I think they will make everyone else better. And that's what our safety room needs to do. And I'm excited about that. So, really we're going from a really inexperienced room because Dom got hurt last year to maybe one of the most experienced rooms on the board. And then our linebacker room, right? Once again, we return a great deal of snaps and starters, right? With John Testman right there in the middle. He's a 3-year starter for us at our Mike Backer, brings a great deal of maturity and really understanding of our defense, which should be very impactful for us this year. Okay. And then the other guy, really, I want to give a shout out to Cameron Willis Jr. Really been playing a lot since he arrived here. And then you're going to see guys like Christian Ozane and Yusef Ahmed get in the mix, right? They're talented guys who can run and make plays. And you'll see a lot of these guys, right, that are rotating in, keeping guys fresh. Okay. And now, hey, as you look at the rest of the linebacker room here, and then we scroll to our specialist room here, and where's Chase there, Coach? We got Specs there. Yeah, bring a picture up for me too, or maybe he's on a different picture. But we got 4 Specs here. Okay, Adam Zawagi, right, will be the guy that I really want to mention. He's probably going to end up doing our kicking and our punting to start the season. Okay. And then certainly Danny's a senior in the room. It's been really bogged down by injuries, right? And he will really push Zoo in the kicking game. I think we have 2 really talented guys there in the kicking world. And then Blake Craig, who Blake walked onto our program a couple years ago, and really, just been a wonderful surprise for us. Great team guy, motivated guy. And then Chase Benoit here, who's not in this group here picture, but is punting for some, but really going to be doing a lot of our holding for us. It's a role I challenged him at when he got here, even during the recruiting process, to learn that skill set. And he's done a great job with that. And Aaron Mahone has been our holder, but with him nursing some injuries, right, having a guy that can do that skill set is really important. And Chase has done a fabulous job in camp with that, and excited for our specialist group as a whole. Okay. All right, Jaden. Okay. So hey, let me give you a quick view of Georgetown here. Yeah. So I learned some things today, right? There's 14 games in the history of the program. I've been a part of one of those. I think holistically, right, it's been a good matchup for the program over the years, right? But Georgetown's, as the world has changed in college football, they've changed with it. So the Patriot League, which they're part of the Patriot for football, has gone to a full scholarship model for their football FCS programs. They're a part of that. Up until the last couple of years, it's been a partial. That not really sure how quickly they've gotten to the full scholarship, but they're a scholarship program. I see this game very similar to what I've seen the VMI games when we played them. It should be an incredible test for us. Okay. And what we are looking forward to measuring ourselves as we head to PFL play. Okay. They will challenge us. Okay. And I think that's great for us out the gate. I really do. Okay. And we're excited to play on the road. We got to learn to play better on the road. Right. So that's another test we're looking at. And so with that said, we're going to get after it. Okay. Hopefully you can come out, support us in DC. Jaden he'll be running a social prior to the game in DC. Okay. And if you're there, we'd love to see all our Wildcat fans join Jaden at a pregame event before our 12:30 kickoff. All right. And I apologize. I don't know. Jaden's run the program from his office. I'm in my office. I know there's been a delay in some of the screens and the picture rolling through. I apologize. One of our big obstacles in our new facility has been the Wi-Fi, which sounds crazy, right? We were located in the bunker of Baker with about a ton of concrete around us and rarely had problems with Wi-Fi. And we've had a lot of problems. We're getting them fixed with any new construction, but there has been a delay in some of the images, and I know some of them got missed or crossed over. So I apologize for that if it's been slow in that process. With that said, you've heard me talk a lot. I love to talk about our football program, our young men, but I do want to give you a chance to ask us some questions. I think, Jaden, you want to give them some insight on how they can put a question through to you?
Yes, sir. So there's a Q&A button on your screen that essentially will allow you to submit a question. I'll be able to see it from my end and basically call it out to each of you guys. We've got one question right now from Brian Overcash. And his question is, who is our center, Coach?
Oh, who's our center? It's a good question. Hey, Danny Fish. See, whoever asked that question, that's a football question, and I love it because if there are things that make coaches nervous, it's when you're changing centers. So Danny Fish is a rising junior, played some last year because of some, when Gilbert had an injury or two, Danny played. So he has some live game snaps under his belt. And he's very athletic. But it will be his first year. But he is a junior.
Not a question, but Gary Hammond said that he has to jump on another call. He said, good luck this season. We'll be watching and rooting. Go Cats.
Hey, thanks, Gary Hammond. Hey, good luck to Jonathan Hammond, right? For those you don't know, Jonathan is taking a grad year and playing at William & Mary. So we wish Jonathan all the best there. Looking forward to watching him and what he does with the Tribe this fall.
Got another question in here. The campus map does not show the new stadium. Is there an address that I can tell Siri to take me to?
Jaden, why answer some of this question? Why don't you look up the address? I can't regurgitate it right now. But what I will say is, hey, let's email our campus leadership and let's push to get our new stadium on the campus map. let's use our voices for good. So let's let that be known that it's time to get Davidson College Stadium on the map. I would agree.
Coach, I think they heard you in real time because it is on Google. If you look up Davidson College Stadium, I will leave it in the chat, the address for our stadium, but it is on Google. You can be able to get it there. Let me see if I can put it in the chat here. Yeah, there we go.
There you go. 109 Patterson Court Circle. There it is. Outstanding. All right. What other questions can we answer for you guys?
We got another one in here. Who do you expect to be strong in the PFL this year?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's a tough question. It's probably as even across the board as I've seen it since I've gotten here, right? I'm not sure there's one dominant team or program right now in the league. I think there's a lot of parity. And I'll speak to that here in a second, why I think that's happened. But with that, if I had to take an educated guess, I think you'll see, St. Thomas will continue to live near the top of the league. Drake's playing with confidence now. We'll see how now they respond with having now more bulls on their back. I do think you'll see teams like Dayton resurge to being one of the better programs in the league. And I look for Butler to take a step or to be one of the better teams. They've been hovering around that 4 or 5. They've done well in the transfer portal, right? They can do some things we can't do. And I think they're doing it right. And so I think when you look at, there's probably 7 or 8 teams that could probably legitimately win our league. Now, how does a league become so even across the board? Well, I said this years ago, if we could turn the page and take Davidson football to the top, it will change everybody's program. Whenever the worst program becomes the best program, everyone wants to figure out how they can make better in their world. And that's what's happened, right? Here, I'm starting year 7. I'm the longest tenured coach in our league now, right? So every PFL program has changed coaches now, right? Because one reason or another, right? And so everyone's pushing the envelope to try to be better, and that happens when the dominant program gets knocked off, and the bottom program elevates itself, and now everyone feels empowered they can do the same. That it makes for a great league. It makes the whole league better. And so I think it's a lot of parity. I'm excited about it. I think each and every week we better be prepared. And that showed up last year, right? 2 of the teams, the 2 losses at the end of the year were 2 of the, I think they finished 8th and 9th in the league. And so each and every week we got to be better than we were the week before to give ourselves the best chance. And so we'll focus on that, focus on ourselves and how we get better. And should be a heck of a year. It really should be in our league.
So I got a couple questions here, and I'll kind of group them all together. A lot of questions about projected run/pass gameplay. A couple people asked about Coulter's ability to throw, which was shown last year. Just how that kind of goes into the play calling for this upcoming year.
Yeah, so I don't ever put predictions behind that. I know for us to be successful, we got to run the ball effectively, right? That could look a lot of different ways, right? Last year we led the country in rushing, but we showed we could be a diverse passing game. And as we grew last year, right, probably leaned a little more on our passing game than our option game. What I hope you see this year is now an offense that finds its balance between those two, right? And the reason I tell you that is, I think when we're talking, we're from Davidson College, right, where we recruit about 1% of the country, and there's no given Saturday we're going to line up and be the biggest, the fastest, right, or the most talented. It's just what it is. We're going to have great young men that play hard. And if you look offensively this year, right, we replaced 3 or 4 offensive linemen. Well, we may not be able to pass protect as well as we did last year. I don't know yet. we may not be able to base run game as well as we did last year. I don't know that yet. So now the option game, when you talk about that, you don't have to block as many guys, right? It enables a young offensive line maybe to take a breath and grow up a little bit. They can stay on double teams longer. So I think what I hope you'll see is kind of bringing some of the things we learned that we could be better at last year, bring it together with some of the option game I actually held back last year. Culture being a sophomore, I held back some of our triple, right? You didn't see a lot of triple. You saw us, we led the country in rushing. So you saw us run the football, but there wasn't a lot of option run, right? A lot of predetermined. You will see me turn him loose this year in our option schemes. Okay. Does that mean that it would be a similar run pass? I don't know. We'll see. I can't predict that until we start. I'm going to call an offense to win a football game. If there's the key answer, right? The key is we're going to call what we need to do to win a football game, right? That is the bottom line. And if it looks like it did last year, then it will. If it leans a little more on the run than pass, I don't know. I know Coulter can throw the football. He's a talented thrower. We graduated 2 of his top targets last year and 4 of our offensive linemen. So we do have to protect him. We have to get comfortable in our route scheme. I think we're getting there, right? I think we got some guys who can make some plays downfield, but you don't really know that until you get in the game. So we're going to find out a lot here in these next 3 or 4 weeks. And if I can just put the offensive coordinator hat on, I'm excited for that. And I'm excited that, we're going to actually turn Coulter loose in our triple option game more so than I did last year, because I think he's a dynamic runner that I didn't really turn him loose in that last year. And I look forward to that. And we'll see what kind of personality this offense takes.
Got you. Piggybacking off of that, kind of a combination of run and pass. David Barner wants to know, with some ex-QBs in the slot room, will we have a slot pass thrown into the mix?
David, I love the question, my friend. I think at some point, how could you not, right? Drew winning a starting job at slot, one, congratulations to him, right? Moving positions, then going and winning a starting job. He's just a talented guy, and his ability to throw the football, I'm sure that the Cats will take advantage of that at some point. Now, what it looks like, I'll leave that to your imagination till game day.
Awesome. There's Wes Thorne asks, should we expect any changes in the defensive scheme this season, or updates on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, Wes, it's a good question. I think one of the biggest things you'll see is us getting back to where we're comfortable. And so to explain that, when we arrived here, we really we brought this bend don't break defense, meaning, hey, it's okay for teams to get first downs. It's okay. But we want to eventually tighten down as the field shortens, force a lot of field goal tries, and let's not get greedy. Well, as we've gotten better and more talented, we probably got a little greedy last year, right? And early on, it looked great, right? We played a little more man coverage than we've ever been used to. It enabled us to get a little more pressure on the quarterback. And it looked good when it looked good, and when it looked bad, it looked really bad. And so we, once again, kind of what I'm talking about offensive, we got to find that comfort zone back to where, hey, we're still a bend don't break defense, right? Because we're always going to be 1 or 2 players away from not being when TJ went down, got hurt, it really hurt us playing man, and even a little bit when Dom got hurt. And so we've got to get back to our basic fundamentals of what we believe in to be successful here. Okay. And defensively, it is truly a bend don't break. They're going to get some first downs. It's college offense. We have to tackle better to prevent long breakout runs. We have to be in better coverages. We have to disguise them. And so I think you will see a defense that will live by that motto between really till the red zone, and then we'll have to tighten down and where the field's a little shorter, and tackle better and force a lot of field goal tries. That is really what we hope you see this year.
Awesome. David Barner asked again, great, perfect timing for this, actually. Any update on Coach Jackson, Coach?
Okay, so I'll take first this moment to give a loud thank you to everyone who's prayed for Coach Jackson, his family over these past 6 months. it's been certainly a trying time for him, his family, all of us, right? I mean, we're truly a family here. For those of you that know me, I've known Steven since he was in sixth grade, right? I coached him. He came on my staff 10 years ago. So really close on and off the field. And so, he continues to get stronger. He had a couple of setbacks this summer, which led to another surgery or two. But moving past that now, some exciting news. They just welcomed their third child. Cam Jackson was born on Friday, this past Friday, baby boy. So we're excited to welcome them, but also please keep them in your thoughts and prayers still, because, he's continued to heal and learn his new way of life. And at the same time, they're now welcoming a new member of their family, their third child. So certainly a challenging time, but exciting time for the family. He's not back to work yet. We are hoping probably mid-fall that he'll be back with us in some kind of capacity. He does come by and sees us to see us. He comes by to see the team occasionally, but his rehab, his health work is too extensive right now for him to come back to work full time. So for now, he just, we continue to think about him, pray for him, and help him however we can. But he is getting better, and look forward to him joining the staff later on in the fall.
Dave Glam asks, looking ahead to our home opener, what will Catawba have for us? Do they play this week?
Yeah, so really good question. Catawba doesn't play this week, so they got a bye week before they play us, so they get 5 weeks to prepare for us. Never advantageous, but we can't control that. They're a scholarship program with 35 scholarships. Really talented group. Have a great staff. They hired a really fantastic young coach a couple years ago from a really successful Division II program, and he's done a really nice job. You're going to see a talented team. You're going to see a team that's probably as talented as anybody in our league. So, we're coming out the gates with two really challenging games for us, and we're going to find out these first 2 weeks what we're made of. And we need a huge crowd here that September 7th game. And they'll be athletic. They'll be able to run well. And because they're right here in our backyard, they'll be a great crowd. So it should be a great atmosphere. It really should.
Jim Hendrick asks, how is the new facility impacting recruiting?
Great. So I'll transition a little bit about recruiting. We've had a great recruiting season, and it's still ongoing, but I think I can officially say it's going to make an impact. Okay. We sit at 18 committed guys right now. Typically by this time we have 8 to 9. So we're about doubled our commitments to this stage, which is really exciting for us and our staff. But when you get early commitments, it allows you a couple things. It allows you to probably put a little more focus on what you're doing right now, here and now with the team and the program. As a coach, you're always dividing your time and energy, right? You're coaching, you're game planning, you're recruiting. And so we're still doing all that. But the fact that we've landed so many recruits that we're excited about so early certainly allows us to take a little bit more of a breath than we would take at this point. So it has to be the state, right? I mean, because everyone who has committed to us has been to see it in person, made an early trip here, and that's exciting for us, right? We'll see what the class unfolds like. We got to continue to keep them, right? As our program has grown and gained respect across the country, what we found last year is people are going to continue to recruit our players, right? They're going to offer them scholarships. We lost a couple guys scholarships at the end of the recruiting cycle last year, who were going to have, their financial package here was going to be a lot because of their family background, and they took a full scholarship. Alabama, it was one of the direction. Arkansas State. We lost a lineman to Arkansas State, full scholarship guy, right? So that happens. So we got to continue to recruit those guys to keep them here. But I think we can convincingly say the facility is going to impact our recruiting. And I'm excited about that moving forward. And I said I didn't think we know for a couple of years. I think we know way before now. And now we can kind of game plan for that, right? Coming into this recruiting cycle, we really didn't know. So as we move forward, we can game plan for that and look forward to that as we now look ahead to the future in recruiting.
Cecil Clifton asks, was the field construction constructed to minimize heat gain? This fall will be the warmest ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cecil, I don't, yes and no. Okay. So yes, meaning we put in the best turf we could to minimize that. So, but at the same time, there's almost so much you can minimize it, right? You know, the concrete, the stadium itself, the turf. Okay. You know, I think now practicing on the turf for the last month, we get a pretty steady breeze, right? That's nice coming in the bowl. Wasn't sure we get that. And practicing in it, your kids acclimate to it a lot quicker, which is good for us. And so it is going to be a hot fall. We're going to find out how we handle that here. But you know, the old turf was so old. The black pellets had risen to the top. You know, it was incredibly hot. And so it definitely feels better than that. And I think for you fans, the concession environment, the setup is so much more user friendly. And you guys are going to notice a much better game day environment.
Mike Kaskasi asks, is NIL making an impact at our level?
I think minimally, yes. In our league, maybe not so much. You know, that's something that we will really began to explore. I want to be clear. But we've slowed to that because we don't have all the answers. And in a world where, you know, we're building a facility and we're raising Gridiron funds, it's not always easy to raise NIL money. So, you know, that is something that we've begun to have some serious conversation about, because in theory, right, it is a way that we could, you know, have our guys have some money, right? That makes it legal. We can't legally give them a scholarship. But we're not there yet, but it is something that we can begin talking about. We have some guys that have partnered with, so, you know, what our athletic department has done is put together a group that our guys can tap into and put their names out there. And, you know, Coulter has gotten quite a few NILs requests, you know, or he's our starting quarterback. And, well, you know, and that could be anything from a free mattress to free coffee, or, you know, he's being asked to work in camp and they're going to pay him to work at camp as the Davidson quarterback. And so some of that's happening, right? And so it is making an impact. To what level, it's really hard to speak of at this time. But it's something that we're hoping to continue to gain understanding and how it can impact us.
John Bezos asks a really serious question here. You know, Las Vegas odds are that you punt 9 times for the season. Which way should I put my money?
Oh, John. Hey, listen, John, I want you to know I run on that treadmill every day, and your name inspires me, my friend. I just want you to know I stare at the Bezos names as I'm running on the treadmill. It's so inspiring. If we punt 9 times this year, we're all going to celebrate a lot. All right. So that would be exciting for the Cats to only punt that few times. Not really sure. Y'all know my philosophy. And it's not just I'm not a gunslinger here, people. When I make these decisions, there's real logic behind why we go for it so frequently. It makes sense for our program and who we are. We will continue to manage that. I do look to be an aggressive 4th down caller. So I don't know if I would take those odds on punting 9 times or not, you know, but I look forward to seeing what that number looks like at the end of the year.
Awesome. And then we got one more question. It says, how do we go about sharing depth charts with opponents? You know, why do we do so? Just kind of touching on that.
Yeah, so it's policy to share depth chart with opponents. We typically do that on Monday or Tuesday. And I would tell you at this time, I'm still waiting for Georgetown's depth chart, so I haven't sent mine out. I'm gonna hold my hand as long as I can. And we kind of take it with a grain of salt. It's always good to see names. I'm not sure they're updated as frequently as they should coming from week to week. But that it is shared through the SID's office. It is required on Monday or Tuesdays, mainly for the SIDs, so they can have a week to prepare for their broadcast, right, for some of their write-ups. And certainly we use them as we began to break down, which we've already broken down Georgetown to what we have. We don't have a whole lot going off last year, but I look forward to seeing their depth chart.
Patrick Pope says Bezos and treadmill are two words that don't belong in the same sentence. Love you, John.
Oh, wow. Now, I mean, I don't know about that, but I'm just telling you, it's an inspiring message as I hit that treadmill. Yeah, it really is. Guys, I know, hey, we're coming to the end of this thing. I want, before I turn it back over to Jaden, and he probably has some closing instructions for you. I am excited as always about our year ahead of us season. And probably a little more excited as far as, because there's newness, right? You know, we're returning a veteran group on one side, fairly inexperienced, but some exciting, you know, weapons on one side. And so, you know, I think there are some unknown things for us. I look forward to seeing, as a coach, I love that, right? I love to see what we're going to turn into, how this is going to evolve, whether it's our kicking game, to our offense, to our defense. And what, you know, if you look at last year, and, you know, we started off, and, you know, I was proud of our guys, right? We started off 0-2, and there's probably people hitting the panic button, and I really wasn't. I thought we were figuring ourselves out, and we did. And I'm excited about the opportunity ahead of us at Georgetown. It's going to be a man. It's going to be a battle, and it should be a battle, and I'm looking forward to that. And then I couldn't be more excited about playing back here in our home stadium, and opening up the Davidson College Stadium for 2024. It's an historical time for our program that each and every one of you should take pride in. I hope you do. And I'm honored to be your coach. I'm honored to lead our football program. As I say to our families when they drop their kids off, we won't always get it right, but we'll be working our very hardest to get it right. And we wish you all the best. I'm going to turn it back over to Jaden. Thank you for all you do. Okay. Take our we with you. Send that message out there. Win everything. Win everywhere with everyone. And let's work to be the best version of ourselves every day. Thanks, everybody. Go Cats. Jaden, back to you.
Thank you, Coach. Yeah, I've got nothing more. You know, Coach Abel hit on everything, you know, pretty well, answered all your questions. I will say, if you are going to Georgetown, please reach out to me. We will be at Martin's Tavern. It's about a 10-minute drive to the stadium. The parents are leading that front. They'll be there at 9:30, getting there early, pre-gaming for the game. But stop by anytime. I believe it's a 12:30 kickoff, so anytime from 9:30 to 12:30. Make your way over there. Would love to see you there. Besides that, yeah, there was a couple questions. I don't know if everyone saw it, but in terms of parking, that has been, you know, we say, you know, with progress, there's a little things that are slowed up, right? So we've got this brand new facility, but unfortunately, parking hasn't caught up, right? So there'll be ways for everyone to park. There is a paid parking if you guys came to the spring game, or it's right outside the stadium up in the berm, that will be paid parking. They'll have overflow, hopefully. We've been getting good rain, so hopefully the sod is grown up. In the par 3 course, they've carved out a little area over there on the other side of the deck of right field that will be overflow parking. And then after that, unfortunately, it's all across campus, right? You know, hopefully we continue to sell out the stadium, right? And it makes the college think about ways to make parking a little bit easier for all of you guys. But that's the way that it is. And so if you guys have any questions or anything like that, I believe the price is $30 or $35 to park in that upper berm. But really excited for that to fill up. There's a tailgate happening that day for the opening game, right? The red and black tailgate. Some of you guys might have got the email about. The campus is putting that on, right? So we haven't really touched on the buy-in from the college, but it's been incredible, right? With the uniforms that they've supplied for us after the brand change, and now really backing us, right? In terms of gathering alumni around a football game. I know like a lot of people here would probably scratch their heads thinking about that 10 years ago, right? But they're really buying in and supporting us through this. So hoping to see all you guys there. There'll be a couple pockets here and there. I know the Phi Deltas have a group, and then there's a bunch of regional chapters there as well. But really excited about where this program is heading. I know I'm super proud to be a Wildcat and help lead this Gridiron Club into the future. So with that, hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and tune in on Saturday on ESPN to watch us take on the Georgetown Bulldogs. So appreciate it, everybody.
They're the Hoyas, Jade. They're the Hoyas. But
Hoyas,
I'm okay if
Bulldogs, it's the same. What is a Hoya? That's what I have to ask.
Hey, right. Go Cats. Thanks, everybody.
Go Cats,
appreciate it.
See ya.